Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So today is BookList Thursday. BookList Thursday is something I do with Sarah over at Sarah's Nightstand. We come to you every Thursday with some sort of book thoughts, ideas, recommendations, something bookish related. So today is one of our kind of regularly scheduled talks, and we talk about our 5-star predictions. And so for the last, I think we've been doing this for about 3 years. Every 3 months or so, we pick 5 books that we think are going to be 5 stars. We read them, and then we come tell you what we think about them. And for like the last year, probably year and a half almost, we've had some guest YouTubers, booktubers come and do 5-star predictions with us. And so for this round, we were working with Audrey over at Chapters and Converse, and it's been so fun. First of all, I have a brand new, amazing bookish friend to chat with pretty much on a daily basis. So Audrey's been super fun, and just talking about these books has been a blast, and we even read one of them together, which made the book even better. So after you watch this, make sure you check out Sarah's channel and Audrey's channel and see what she has, or see what they have to say about their 5-star prediction follow-ups. So this round was fantastic. The last couple of rounds of 5-star predictions haven't been really great for me, honestly. I've had some duds. Which is okay, and it's gonna happen. But this time around, 5 amazing books. 5 amazing books. Our theme this time was we needed to pick books that we feel like everyone else has been reading and that we haven't, or everyone else has been loving that we haven't. So we went with it, and I have no regrets. Like, there's a reason why everybody's been telling me that these books are fantastic. They are fantastic. So we're gonna start with the one 4-star that I do have. I took a star off, and I'll explain that in a little bit. My one 4-star is I Let You Go by Claire McIntosh. This is a book that, like, since the beginning that I've been chatting with Sarah, she's been begging me to read, and I finally did it, and it was 4 stars. Now, I almost quit. I'm not gonna lie. I almost DNF'd this because the beginning of this book is really slow. But it is a slow burn setting you up for the whole second half of the book, and definitely worth reading. I took a star off because it really was slow, and I really can't say this is a 5-star book, even though I wanted to quit. I don't think I was like 50 pages into it or something. So that's the only reason why we went down to 4 stars. Still a fantastic book. It's amazing. I need more Claire McIntosh in my life. So probably want to know what it's about, because it's maybe important. So this follows Jenna Gray as she moves to a rundown, not so great cottage on the remote Welsh coast. She's trying to escape the memory of a car accident that plays over and over and over again in her mind. She's desperate to hear from the loss of her child and the rest of her painful past. At the same time, we track 2 Bristol police officers who are trying to solve this hit and run case that happened. They find themselves, they're also drawn together, which again is probably why I took it down a star, because I didn't quite understand why there was this relationship between the two. It just didn't feel like it fit totally, but it was fine. Still a twist-filled book, still I would say very atmospheric, because when Jenna is at the Welsh coast, like, it's cold and dreary, and it's like off season, and she's in this weather-worn, not great cabin, and like you could feel the wind. It was totally atmospheric. It was a fantastic book. Still loved it, even though I gave it 4 stars. Next book I have to talk about, I gave 5 stars. Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. This was so fun. I think when I read this, it was the perfect time. I needed a book like this. I just needed something light and fun. This follows Rachel Chu as she agrees to go to Singapore for the summer with her boyfriend, Nicholas Young. They've been dating pretty seriously for about a year. They're both teachers or professors at New York University, I think. But they live in New York. They've been having this great life. They're pretty serious about each other, and so kind of getting invited to go back home is kind of a big thing. Except that Nicholas never told Rachel how crazy rich his family is. So she gets introduced to this insane culture, and it's a little alarming. It leads to, of course, some misunderstandings and some crazy things that happen, and it's just, I thoroughly enjoyed this book. Did I go in expecting this to be like some fantastic piece of literature? No, it was a fun book. I like what happened. Things were unexpected. I love the friendship that Rachel has with her best friend who lives in Singapore that I can't think of her name. I love that relationship and the crazy things that she does for her. It was great. And then I watched the movie and I love the movie and I watched it like 3 times since then. So Crazy Rich Asians, 5 stars. Next one, I guess in order of like my favorite and best books that I read, we're gonna go with A Gentleman in Moscow by Amor Towles. Okay, so Crazy Rich Asians, super fast read, right? Like flew through this. This was a like a slow simmering stew that you just have to like spend an entire day with. So I had to spend a lot of time with Alexander, with our Count Alexander in this book and his adventures. It wasn't one I could pick up and just like fly through 50 pages. I needed to read it in small little doses. I needed to just take it in. It is written beautifully, but it follows our Count, 1922. He is 30 years old and he is put on house arrest at the the Bolsheviks put him on house arrest at the Metropole. It's a pretty elite hotel in Moscow. So he cannot leave and he basically watches what happens to Russia throughout history. As he's doing that, he ends up being the guardian of a young girl, kind of comes to him and he's kind of the only one there to take care of her, and so he ends up raising her along with staying at this hotel. There are hilarious parts. There's a part of this book, it happens on the 4th floor of the hotel. There's 2 geese are kind of left wild, and here's all these very high class clientele that's staying there and kind of going crazy over these geese that are running around. I was laughing. It was so funny. And there's so much dry humor in this. It's just fantastic. Fantastic. I loved it. It was 5 stars. Don't expect to fly through it, but it was so good. So good. The next one I gave 5 stars is We Are the Lucky Ones by Georgia Hunter. I've already lent this book out because it's that good. So it follows a family who lives in Poland at the beginning of World War II, and it literally follows every member of that family and how they survive the war. No spoiler, they all survive the war. It's called We Are the Lucky Ones. They are the lucky ones that their entire family is intact at the end of the war, even though they are Jewish citizens who were from Poland. They get scattered amongst Europe. One of them even ends up in Brazil, I believe. But it follows what happens to them and the fight that they go through to survive. It's got a lot of love in it. There are still very sad points in that book. It is fantastic. World War II historical fiction, and I am becoming a bit of a World War II historical fiction snob. Like, you need to be really good to impress me, and this one's really, really good and impressed me. So highly suggest that book. Totally 5 stars. And my favorite book that I read this round, I actually read it with Sarah and Audrey, is The Invisible Life of Addy LaRue by V.E. Schwab. So beautiful. So beautiful. So this follows Addy LaRue. We start in France in 1719 or 1714. And she's facing a life that she's not really all that jazzed about. You know, she's supposed to marry, she's supposed to have children, she's supposed to set up a house, and she's not interested in any of that. She wants more adventure. She wants to get out. She doesn't want to be kind of stuck in that life. And so she has a friend, I can't think of her name, who, trying to think of like what this friend would be. Kind of a shaman, kind of a, not really a psychic, but basically is like telling Addy, if you want to get out, make sure you're praying to the gods, but don't pray to the gods that come out after night, because nothing good will happen to that. Well, Addy ends up praying to the wrong god at night, and she gets given this deal that basically she's allowed to live forever, but no one's ever going to remember her. She takes it. And she lives for 300 years, and we follow her through We get tastes of what she goes through throughout that 300 years, but then we get a different perspective. So we have present day Addy, after she's been around for 300 years, and after everyone has forgotten about her and how she's figured out how to survive and work and live and thrive in this life until she comes across someone who remembers her. So dual timelines, we have historical events that she's living through. It's so beautifully written. There are a few places in here where I have some tabs and I have things written and highlighted that just resonated with me. Some of the most beautiful scenes I've ever read are in this book. It's just, I have no other words to describe how much I love this book. It's fantastic. I'm sure Audrey will talk about it. She'll fill you in. So that was my other one. It was a great 5-star prediction. Like, I don't know what to think about next time because we're going to do another round. It's coming next week. I'll share with you what that one is. But I don't know what to think about that one. Like, I hope it's as good because this set the bar pretty high. So comment below if you have anything you want to chat about with these books that you've read. Definitely so much to talk about on all of them. So much to talk about with all of them. So chat below. Otherwise, head over to Sarah's channel and Audrey's channel and see what they have to say about their 5-star prediction follow-up. Always like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.